What's up, everyone? I'm ND Sean 45 of the Two Irish Brothers Show, and this is the voice of college football Notre Dame with the Notre Dame Stanford Postgame Show. Now, Ben is on his way, hopefully soon. He's having a little bit of some technical difficulties going on right now. But hopefully he's here sooner rather than later. But for now, it's just me, and what a way to finish the season for the Irish. And yeah, my camera, talk about technical difficulties, man, that is bright. Holy cow. There we go. But great way to end the regular season for the Irish. 9-3, not what us Notre Dame fans were hoping for, but it is what it is. And well, you're not going to have every season go the way that you want it to go. So, but yeah, Notre Dame 56, Stanford 23. Of course, not the way we wanted this game to start. Okay, anyone who saw our posts on X during the game, you know what I'm talking about. 3 turnovers in that first half, one by Sam Hartman. Well, actually, no, 2 by Sam Hartman because he threw a pick, and then one by who was it on the kickoff? Was it Jadarian Price or was it? Oh, who was that? Well, that's why we have the stats pulled up. Let's see. You know what? Let me go to ESPN stats. Because for some reason, Google just doesn't. They don't give the. They don't give the right kind of stats. Not all of them, anyway. Okay, it was hard. Yeah, it was Jadarian Price. That's what I thought. But yeah, no, I was furious in that first half. All these turnovers, and I'm like, no, come on, let's not do this again. Let's not make this a game with a lesser opponent. All right, I don't care if it's a rivalry or not. This is a Stanford team that we should put away, no problem. Thankfully, that's how it turned out, and we did put them away. And yeah, I'm sorry about this camera, guys. I know that looks terrible, just awful. But I know I hate that grainy look, but yeah, so I was like, no, let's not get into a back and forth with Stanford. Let's put them away like we should. Ridiculous. I mean, it's just mental mistakes early on. I was pissed off, but you know what? Enough with the bad. Let's focus on the good. So obviously the key, the star in this game, hands down, Audric Estime, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns on 25 carries, good for 9.5 yards per carry. The fact that this guy wasn't even a semifinalist for the Doak Walker Award is a freaking joke. That shows how much of a joke the NCAA is, or the committee, or whoever's running that. Absolute joke that he is not a semifinalist or the leader in it. One of the best running backs in the country, and he's not a semifinalist for the Doak Walker Award. Are you kidding me? And I don't care how your team's doing. That should not have anything to do with it, okay? Because I remember years ago, Robert Griffin III, he won the Heisman Trophy, and his team was not in the running for a major bowl game or a national championship. So, yeah, absolute joke. So, with that said, and I know they include bowl games in the season, of course, don't get me wrong, but Audric Estime's numbers right now, his overall numbers for the season, 1,103 yards, 14 touchdowns, good for 6 yards a carry on 185 yards. Unbelievable. And this guy was kept out of one of the biggest awards for running backs. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. But anyway, he's hands down the star of tonight's game for Notre Dame. Sam Hartman, he was pissing me off pretty early in the game. Finished 8 of 14, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Behind Audric Estime in the running game, we had Jeremiah Love with 47 yards on 7 carries. Jabron Payne, 35 yards on 6 carries, 1 touchdown. So we had and Sam Hartman chipped in 47 yards for 4 carries too, but he had the 1 fumble early on in the game when he should have just tucked it away. I don't know what he was thinking there. Receiving game. Jordan Faison, the freshman, continues to impress. 66 yards on 3 receptions with 1 touchdown. Jaden Greathouse had the 1 touchdown on the 1 catch for 15 yards. Chris Tyree, 2 catches for 38 yards. Tobias Merriweather, 1 for 16. Not much to speak of there. But the defense, they were getting it done big time. And, if our offense doesn't put them in a tough predicament early on, Stanford doesn't even put up 23 points. Because I'm willing to bet of the 23 points that Stanford put up, at least 13 of those points are because of turnovers. But I'll tell you guys one thing. So I said in our preview on the Two Irish Brothers show, 60 points. Let's put up 60 points. 4 points away. 4 short. But I'm not going to complain about a 33-point win. So that ends our regular season. We finish at 9-3, and like I said to start the video, I know that's not where a lot of us Irish fans wanted to be. We had higher expectations. Based on that record, it's safe to say that this team underachieved. But these things happen. You're not going to have a championship season every year, and I know with us, we haven't won a national championship since '88, so I get the frustration. But we gotta deal with where things are right now. That's all there is to it. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is. So 9-3, we are ranked, I believe, 17th or 18th in the college football playoff rankings. I'd like to think we could at least move up a couple spots with some of the other upsets today. Maybe not. I don't know. But we just got to let the rest of I guess we're pretty much done now for this week. But we got the conference championships next week. We got to let those games play out. And it's just a matter of seeing what bowl game we get. It depends. It depends what source you read, but obviously the big one that everyone's talking about is the ReliaQuest Bowl. But you guys know me; I'll have a special name and poster made up for that one. Another one that I heard. Another one that's been I shouldn't say highly rumored, but another one that's been rumored, not highly rumored, but just rumored. Maybe the Holiday Bowl. I would like to go back to the Gator Bowl. Wouldn't mind that one. Just hopefully it's not the damn Pop-Tarts Bowl. But like I said, I'll make a poster to make it better than what it is. But you guys who've been watching us for a while now, you know how I feel about these sponsor name only bowls. And we'll have a separate video about that later. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully we get the best bowl that we possibly can. Who knows? Maybe at-large bids open up for some other ones, like, I don't know, the Citrus Bowl or, whatever the case may be. But I don't know. I just hope we get something good to end the year. That's all. But, yeah, going over some of the comments here. Golden Playbook is in the house. Walter's here. Happy Notre Dame fan, and Notre Dame 2164 just showed up. Nice to see you guys here. Yes, the Jean-Baptiste block field goal, that was awesome. That was really awesome. And amazing footwork, the tightroping to stay in bounds. So So we'll post some of these comments here. Yes, on to a bowl game. Absolutely. I gave Audric Estime a nice salute when he scored his 4th. Oh, yeah. He deserved it. I didn't expect us to start fast because we have struggled on the road this season. I'm so happy that we got revenge on them. Well, I am too, but it's like you cannot start a football game like that and expect to win. You just can't. Any other circumstance, it wouldn't work out that way. Thankfully, it was a crappy Stanford team. Oh, hey, buddy. Look who's here to join the show. It's my brother's dog, Lucifer. Oh, hey, buddy. You want to say hi to all the viewers? Huh? Hey, bud. You want some attention? Yeah, he must not be getting it. But anyway, yeah, no, I was not happy with the start to this game. It's like, come on, you guys are better than that. You know how to protect the football. You can't let that happen. So yeah, those fumbles got me worried. A lot gave me nightmares. Yeah, it's like you can't help but expect the worst. I did it too. Anybody, like I said, anybody who saw our posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, you'll know what I'm talking about. Happy Notre Dame fan. Who do you want to win in the playoffs? Just because he's a good friend of mine, I'll back my buddy Magnum and go with Georgia. The Golden Playbook says the future is bright. We got to go through some growing pains. People want instant results, and that's not how it works. It takes time. Yeah, I say that all the time, and nobody seems to get that. It's like Golden Playbook knows very well what I'm talking about on the Facebook page or the Facebook group that I help run, the Notre Dame Nation Fight of the Irish. We got a lot of people on there that just are some of the most unreasonable fans I've ever seen. They're the same ones that wanted Marcus Freeman fired after 2 games into his head coaching career. Every bad thing that happens, they're ready to hit the panic button. I mean, it's okay to get angry when a turnover happens. And like I said, I was mad at the turnovers tonight too. But in the grand scheme of things, you have to give these guys some time. It's a game-by-game process. But, Golden Playbook nailed it. Oh, look who we have showing up. What's up? How's it going? So you got the technical difficulties figured out.
Not really. I'm on my phone, so
last resort.
Computer is down for the count at the moment, so we're gonna have to figure it out.
Well, as long as we can get through the last stream here for the last regular season game, that's all that's necessary, right?
Yeah.
So Ben, I know you weren't able to watch the game, but I'm sure you saw the stats and maybe a few highlights. What's your thoughts? What's your take on this one?
I mean, we started off slow, which was very alarming. But at the end of the day, a win's a win. So, and it was pretty convincing, 56 was 56-24.
23.
I mean, 23. I'll take a point away from Stanford.
Yeah, hell yeah, I would too. Screw them. Screw the Cardinal.
No, it was, a good way to end the season. A lot of teams struggled today. It took everything Alabama had to win their game. It took everything Washington had to win their game. Michigan just edged Ohio State today. It's been a day of Louisville lost. They got upset by the Wildcats of Kentucky. It's been a day for a college football team. So we survived, and that's the thing. You survive in advance, and finishing the season with a 9-3 record isn't bad. And now we have a chance to go to a bowl game and make it a 10-win season.
Yes. And real quick
go ahead.
Real quick before we go even further, Carnivorous Lunar Activity, who's been a viewer of ours for quite a while, he wanted to say thank you, Indy Sean. And you weren't on yet when he typed this, but he wanted to thank us for another year of videos. Looking forward to our insights next year, and happy holidays. Well, thank you too, man. And thank you for being a loyal viewer to our channel.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we might be having a few changes coming up soon, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. That you've been riding with us since for a minute now, and it's always appreciated because this is a labor of love. We don't get paid for this. This is not something that we make money off of like some of the other guys in the ND community, ND fan base, ND world. We don't do that. Oh my goodness. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. A&M is officially hiring Mark Stoops to replace Jimbo Fisher. Wow.
Really? I hadn't even seen that yet.
Popped up on my screen. Holy cannoli. Ryan Day was being thought to be the next head coach. So,
wow.
That's interesting. Yeah, maybe Mark can do it, though. Mark Stoops turned around Kentucky. So, good for him. Good for him. That's a good job. A&M's a good place to play football and coach football.
And that's who we start next season with.
That'll be a fun one. That'll be a really fun matchup now. My goodness.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, you can't take Stanford lightly. I mean, they pushed Washington to their limits. And obviously Washington is on to the Pac-12 championship next weekend and then most likely a playoff berth, barring unforeseen circumstances for them. So the fact that we dominated for the vast majority of this game, Stanford, is good. It's a good feeling, and it's a good way, like I said, to end the season.
Oh yeah, and just after the way things were going there for a while, I mean, everybody was down, and technically, most people in the fan base still are down because this wasn't the season that we had in mind. Of course, we expected more, and I thought at the very least that we'd have a shot at, at the very least an NY6 bowl game, which in my opinion that's the minimum. But starting next year, it's not even going to matter now since all the NY6 games are part of the 12-team playoff. But I do feel that we underachieved this season. But at the same time, I'm not going to bitch about a 10 win season if we're able to get that with the bowl game victory.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing that things didn't go as we planned. But that's the way college football is. Things don't always go the way you plan, and hiccups happen, and sometimes you're a play away from things not going your way. It's just everybody knows what I'm getting at here. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, and there's a comment that we'll hit on in a second that kind of goes hand in hand with my thought. Where is it?
Happy Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, there we go. If we don't make the playoffs next year, should Marcus Freeman be on the hot seat?
I'm gonna say no because he doesn't have all.
So I think there needs to be a stipulation with that. If we are healthy, okay, I'll say this: if Notre Dame is healthy and Angeli rocks and rolls and all that, there is no reason that we shouldn't make the playoffs if we're healthy. We have the schedule for it. The schedule is not a look at this really, really tough schedule on the horizon. We have a very, very mediocre schedule, which I'm okay with. I'm not complaining about that. In years past, we've had very tough schedules to get to the playoffs with. Because, I mean, look at what Georgia has done. Georgia has played a pretty easy schedule, and they're a playoff contender. So I think if we're healthy and we don't make the playoffs, then yes, I think Marcus Freeman should at least be feeling a little bit of pressure. But if we're not healthy, we lose Angeli, we lose whoever is our starting running back, because I would assume, I would go out on a limb and say that Estime is most likely headed to the NFL.
It could go either way, I think.
Right. Then that's a different story, because everything, in my opinion, everything is situational. What kind of squad do you have throughout the season? Are you loaded, or are you the freaking injured reserves list squad? Because if we have second and third stringers starting for us because of injuries, that's a way different ball game than having first stringers, in my opinion. Your thoughts, Sean?
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm going to add something a little. I'm not going to say really anything different. I'm going to add to what you just said. I've said many times before that any head coach needs at least 3 years before people can even start thinking about putting him on the hot seat or whatever the case may be. The thing is with Marcus Freeman, you have to let him get a chance to get all of his guys here because they're not all here yet.
Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to play that divide crap. I'm not like what Charlie, I think it was Charlie Weiss who said this when he really tried to play the divide game. Like, oh, well, when you saw my guys that I recruited and the guys that were already here, which that was, a low blow, but he's getting these recruits in that are really, really high up there. Like ones that we haven't seen in quite a while, if that makes sense. Maybe it's coming out the wrong way, but it's true. Every coach has his particular guys that he recruits that he looks at, obviously. So what I'm getting at, what I'm getting at is let's see what he does when he has all his recruits in and the kind of team that he puts together. Let's see what happens when he develops them and how he rocks and rolls with them. If it's not good, then okay, I'd start to put them on the hot seat. But if they're phenomenal, then obviously you let them stick around. So I think that's a big factor of it too. Like let CJ Carr get here. Let that one receiver, what's his name? Cam Daniels or Cam Williams. Sorry, Cam Williams. Let all of his recruits get here.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, interesting from with recruiting in the portal, we need another quarterback from the portal. Yeah, Coach Freeman talked about that, but you're not if you get a quarterback from the portal, it's not going to be one who's quarterback number one. You and I talked about this in our preview, Ben. You're not going to get a quarterback who's going to be your number one because that you got to start developing your own guys eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the whole portal thing is well and good, but yeah, I agree with you. You got to develop your own guys, or why are you even recruiting? I mean, because you can use Colorado as the gleaming example. Has Deion improved that culture at Colorado? Yes, but a 4-8 record doesn't get you anywhere.
No.
And that's a totally revamped roster. I mean, almost every single guy on that roster was from the portal.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is 4 wins is actually an improvement for them.
Well, yeah. And that's what I was saying. I mean, he has flipped that culture, but yeah. So I don't know. I think we have good guys here. And that's the other thing that people need to remember. Just because we have a 3-star guy doesn't mean they can't be developed into a 5-star athlete.
Oh, there's so many idiots out there that think, oh, he's 3-star, he must not be that good. It's just so stupid. I mean,
we've had a lot of 5-stars, and you can look across the board. There are a lot of 5-star guys that don't make it.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lots of examples: 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 stars that they just, they either improve or they don't improve, and that's just how it goes. So,
well, here's something that I'm curious about. Do you think? And obviously we got to wait till everybody gets here and wait till spring practice, of course. But do you risk Do you give if he performs well, do you give CJ Carr a shot to be the starter from day one?
I mean, it's worked out with other schools in the past, I mean, but I think it has to be that he has everything going the right way. Like, he has the playbook, he has the chemistry with the guys, he has that locker room. It's his locker room, that kind of stuff. If he doesn't have all three of those and he has one or the other, then no, he shouldn't be our starting quarterback. But it should always be, when you're coming into spring ball and then on to fall ball, it's an open battle. I mean, unless you have a senior that's like Hartman and then everybody else in your roster is freshmen, then it's kind of like, all right. But that's a very rare instance in college football.
Right. Honestly, my way too early prediction right now is it's going to be either Steve Angeli or Kenny Minchie. But maybe CJ Carr gets the number 2 spot if things go.
You can use the ultimate example of Arch Manning, who we literally just saw this week.
Yeah.
So, if that says anything, you don't see a Drake May every day.
No,
because he was a starter from day one with North Carolina.
No, and that's just such a hard thing to accomplish too, no matter where you're at.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you have to remember, these guys, there is a big difference. Okay, and I don't care if you're a 5-star athlete or if you're a 1-star athlete coming into college. There is a big difference between high school guys and college guys.
Absolutely.
Size-wise, mentality, attitude, smarts, all that. And there's a big difference between freshman and senior in high school, let alone senior in high school and sophomore, junior, senior in college.
Yes.
So, this is not like football is not like college basketball. Football is not like college baseball, where you can have a freshman start immediately and keep up with the guys. There are very few freshmen that can come in wherever, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, wherever, they can come in and start day one and be able to actually keep up with upperclassmen. It's just how it is.
Well, football
is a different beast. It's an absolute different beast, and it's incredible.
Yeah, because I mean, football is just a different kind of game. I think mainly because of all the hitting involved and how physical it is, and which I'm not saying that basketball and baseball and all them, they're physical in their own ways too, but there's a lot more opportunity for plug and play guys in those sports than there is with football.
Yeah. Well, and then football is also the ultimate team sport. Football and hockey, ultimate team sports. You got to have everybody doing their job and doing the right thing to be successful. So,
yeah, because I mean, take baseball for example. It doesn't matter if you have your shortstop could be 5'5". It doesn't matter. His job, as long as he can field, then it's fine. Doesn't matter if he's only 5'5". Football, different ball game.
Yeah,
different situation altogether.
Yep.
So with that said, Ben, that's it for the regular season. Now we move on to the bowl game. Obviously we all know NY6 not happen. I know there's a few people out there that still think it can happen, but let's face it, it's not.
Yeah. Louisville losing hurts. Ohio State losing hurts. That's just how it is. I know people don't like going, oh, well, the schedule shouldn't, and schedule plays a factor. So NY6 is definitely out the door.
So with that said, I'm sorry, go ahead. You were still saying something.
I said that train has left the station.
Yes. I mean, look. If it were to somehow happen, great. But no, you can't be. I'm sorry. People are crazy if they think we're going to an NY6 at this point or have a shot at one. So, in your opinion, Ben, I mean, it depends what source you're reading, but which bowl game do you think we're likely going to?
I think we're most likely going to that Pop-Tart Bowl, is what it sounds like.
The top three that I've heard, based on different sources, ReliaQuest, Holiday, Pop-Tart. And you know me. I said this before you got here. You know me. I'll make a poster that makes and a name that makes this game a lot better.
Yeah.
And what's up?
Poster.
I say you were breaking up there.
No, I look forward to the poster for sure.
you know I'm going to make it count. I'm going go big or go home. But yeah, I mean maybe there's a chance we could sneak into the Gator Bowl again. I wouldn't mind that one. But
yeah, Gator Bowl wouldn't be a bad little bowl. I'm more for like, who are we playing? You know, like the name, whatever. You know, I mean, it is what it is these days. But I want to play somebody. I don't want to play some school that's small and like a MAC. I don't want to play a MAC school. I mean, unless it's Toledo, because Toledo has 10 wins. I wouldn't mind playing Toledo, but like, I don't want to play a Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio. I don't want any of that. I want like an LSU, a Rutgers, Penn State. You know, somebody like that. I care more about that than I do the bowl name, because then I want to beat them. And then if we beat them, then in my opinion, the season is not an absolute failure. You get 10, you get a quality bowl win against a quality opponent. I'm cool with that.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, you know, we see a lot of this in the comments. Everybody's wanting LSU, and I saw that, you know, on the Facebook group all the time. Everybody's wanting LSU and Kelly, LSU and Kelly, LSU and Kelly. I think that'd be a great game. But I just, yeah, you know me and the whole bowl game thing. I just wish it would all be perfect with the name and the matchup. And the matchup's the big thing, of course. It's just like when you see what stage it's on, it just, you know me, I've been saying this for years. It's just when it's on a stage that is just sponsor name only, it just kind of makes me cringe a little bit. But of course, we could play in the Duke Mayo Bowl, and don't get me wrong, I'm still going to watch it no matter what, because it's my team, and I'm going to support them no matter what happens. But
yeah,
but it's just like, I don't know, man. In the grand scheme of things, that's what it matters, is the matchup.
I agree with Walter. Give that Pop-Tarts Bowl to a 6-7 win team.
Oh, no shit. No shit. It's like,
yeah,
again,
I agree totally. Like,
again, I've said this a million times. The sponsor's fine, because, you know, a sponsor has to sponsor. Right. You have to have a sponsor for the game. I get that, but it's like, why can't the bowl game have its own name? Like, right. Well, it's like, look at the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Like the Holiday Bowl sponsored by Pop-Tarts.
Yes.
Why can't you do that? Like, it's not that hard. It's not hard. Yes, no, I agree. I totally agree.
Because we see this all the time, and I know we should make a separate video about this, but I've been saying this for years, and I just wish most people could understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying I've never said get rid of the sponsor, because somebody has to shell out the dough for it. I get it, but it's just, the problem is you get all these sponsor name only bowls that, and we know sponsors come and go all the time.
Right.
If you gave that bowl game its own name, then no matter who the sponsor is, that bowl game still has its name. Like let's take a look at some of the NY6 bowls. Okay, the Orange Bowl, that's been sponsored by, it's currently sponsored by Verbo, right? Yeah. But at one point it was sponsored by FedEx, I believe, and then there's been a couple other names
FedEx
in there.
The past, yeah.
Yes, the sponsors have always come and gone, but that game has still always remained the Orange Bowl.
Right. The
That's
Sugar
what
Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Rose Bowl. Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree.
and I know that maybe if you did that with these smaller bowl games, at least we're looking at a first tier bowl game at least, so I'm happy about that. But I think if you did that same thing with all these minor bowl games, I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to necessarily change anybody's minds about how they'd feel about it. Oh, yeah, the toilet bowl, this, yeah, whoop-de-doo. But at the same time, you still have coaches and players that are excited about playing in a postseason bowl game.
Right.
You could at least give the game a little dignity and a little tradition and a little pride, and give these guys a decent stage to play on instead of just playing for the sponsor. And maybe the players and the coaches don't really care all that much, but this is more of a fan thing.
Right.
I think the fans they'd still have the toilet bowl mentality, but maybe they would warm up to the game a little more.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what? It's not the bowl I wanted, but this is considering the situation, this is a nice stage for my team to play on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, I mean, obviously no team goes into the season saying, yeah, we're shooting to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl or the what's another one? The Duke Mayo Bowl. No, nobody's shooting to play in that, but it's like if that's what you get, if that's your only option for the postseason, then these bowl committees should at least make it prideful for these teams.
Well, yeah, and there's also the people that take, oh, well, if you don't make this, then you should just decline the bowl game, which I think is a joke and absolutely stupid because you get extra practices according to NCAA rule. If
You're breaking up there, Ben.
I said if you make a bowl game according to the NCAA, you get extra practices, so you get more time to develop.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely.
It's in your best interest to play in the bowl game. I mean, even if it's not what you wanted, it's, you get extra stuff, so.
Exactly.
And guys can sit out if they want to.
And actually, the Golden Playbook, that was the Fiesta Bowl that we lost to Oklahoma State in. That PlayStation was just the sponsor.
Yep, sponsored by PlayStation. But, yeah, he said Tennessee, too. Tennessee or Oklahoma State, that'd be interesting.
Well, you mentioned Tennessee. That'd be kind of fun because we've never had a hate week with BVD yet because we haven't played Tennessee in the time we've been doing YouTube.
And both teams would have an identical record of 9-3 and fighting to get that 10th win.
Yeah.
So that would be a fun matchup between us and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sportsbook Lab says Hawaii Bowl champs 2000. Actually, that was 2008 that we won the Hawaii Bowl. And see, even that one had it right. Sheridan was the sponsor, Sheridan Hotels.
Yep.
But it was still called the Hawaii Bowl.
Yep. Sure was.
But yeah, that's what it basically comes down to is right now just get the best bowl that we possibly can. Hopefully it's one like the Gator or the Holiday, whatever. Actually, no, Sportsbook Lab. The 2007-2008 season, that was when we went 3-9. The game that we played, the Hawaii Bowl, when we won it, it was in 2008, and it was Christmas Eve. I remember watching it very, very clearly. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, just get the best bowl we can possibly get right now, and I hope it's a good one. I really hope it's like I said, the Holiday, Gator, or maybe who knows? Like I said, maybe an at-large bid opens up in another one. Like the Citrus or the Alamo or whatever. Well, take whatever you want to, whichever one you'd prefer.
Right. Alamo Bowl would be a good one. If we played a quality opponent, I wouldn't mind the Alamo Bowl due to the history of the Alamo and all that. That'd be a cool bowl game to go to.
Yes. Of course, it's, I'm sure a lot would have to happen, but I mean, Craig Sebring says, the ReliaQuest. Here's the top 3 that I've heard so far, and I'll just to recap here, and it depends on what source you read as well. But it seems like the top ones would be the Holiday, the Gator, the ReliaQuest, or the Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Any one of those 4.
Yeah.
And
let's play a decent. It doesn't matter. Let's just kick them.
Yeah, I know the Pop-Tarts and ReliaQuest. The ReliaQuest, I think, used to be the Outback Bowl. I think Pop-Tarts is what was the Camping World Bowl and the Cheez-It Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty sure those 2 games are against. Let's see. I know the Gator and the ReliaQuest, I think, would be against an SEC opponent. Holiday might be against Pac-12, I think. And then I'm trying to think.
What if we played? Well, no, they'd probably go to an NY6 though.
Who?
Oregon.
Oh, they're going to be in an NY6 for sure. If they win next week, over Washington, they're going to the playoff.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, because I was like, we could hope for Oregon. That would be a fun matchup if we played Oregon. But we might, though, instead of Oregon, because Oregon State's had a pretty good season, and they would be them or Utah.
Yeah.
Huh. That'd be interesting. Oregon State or Utah.
That could be a good one. Well, Florida State, they'd for sure be in an NY6 as well. Sportsbook Lab says, I always care about the time and dates. I would like to have our bowl game on New Year's Eve or day. The only one right now that would be on New Year's Day would be the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yeah.
I know the Gator Bowl and the Holiday Bowl, they're like on December 28th, 29th. Pop-Tarts Bowl, I'm not entirely sure. Craig Sebring says, would not going against LSU.
Yeah, would not LSU. Yeah, I mean, that will, that would be, we talked about it in our preview. That would be a really fun matchup, not just because of the Brian Case situation, but, we've played LSU twice in the last decade, and beat them both times.
Yeah, 2-game win streak.
So, but this would be probably the best LSU team that we would have faced out of those bowl games if we do play LSU.
I can tell you one thing: my 2 brothers, they don't have much faith in that game if we do play LSU.
Yeah,
which is sad because our defense has played pretty well as of this whole season. But I mean, they've had some hiccups, but I think our defense would be up to the challenge against that offense.
Yeah.
Golden Playbook says, what about the Music City Bowl? I mean, here's the thing where
last time we Music Bowl, we had some fun for sure. A couple heart attacks, but then we had some fun.
Yeah. Leonard Fournette tore us up in that Music City Bowl, but we still won the game.
Yeah, we got
But no, you see, the way it sits right now is we have access to all the ACC bowl games. Now, of course, I mean, I'm pretty sure, Ben, I think we talked about this before, but at-large bids and other games can open up for us, correct? Or did they change that?
Can or cannot? I didn't hear you.
Can at-large bids open up for us in other bowl games? Or did they? Okay.
I would. Yeah.
So to answer Golden Playbook's question about the Music City Bowl, It just depends how the cards fall. If there's an at-large bid that opens up to it, and that's the best that we can do, then yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's not a bad bowl game.
No, not at all.
Here's a good question. Another one from Sportsbook Lab. Do you guys want Hartman to play in the bowl game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like he's earned it, if he wants to play and all that. I mean, obviously it's his choice. And obviously we saw with Florida State's quarterback what happens when you play in a meaningless game. But yeah, I mean, if he wants to play, then yes, I feel like he's totally earned it. He's gone through the crucible and the gauntlet that is college football. I know that he's had his struggles in the last few weeks, but I mean, it's not like if we lose this bowl game, we don't have it. This is the final game of the. I mean, if he throws the game losing interception, there goes the season because the season's over. So, yeah, I feel like he's earned it. He's totally earned that spot.
Golden Playbook says, what about playing the Florida Gators? Well, they lost tonight and they're 5-7, so they're not bowl eligible.
I don't eat bowling. And justifiably, I don't even think you should make a bowl game if you're one game above 500. I mean, that's just me. Call us old school, but we didn't used to have all these bowl games. It used to be, it was a big privilege, big honor to go to a bowl game. And now you see teams that have a mediocre season that get to go bowling. And I think it takes away from the specialness of the game. I
actually made that same kind of argument years ago. There really shouldn't be like 30 bowl games. I mean, I know that people love football. The more football we get, the better, right? But it's like, if you're seeing all these crappy matchups, it's just not worth it. And then to add on to what I've said about the sponsor name only bowls, or, the toilet bowls, a lot of people like to refer to those games as, you're absolutely right. It takes away the specialness, because you should bust your ass off to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
And I think, even with the playoffs expanding to 12 and them using all New Year's 6 major bowl games, I still think they should cut back on the minor bowl games after that. Like, really,
yeah. I totally agree.
Which I guess it depends if these sponsor name only bowls, if that's what what they want to do and they want to sponsor a game, can you really stop them?
No, you can't stop them. I mean, money talks, but it is what it is.
It's just back in the day, they used to have only 10 bowl games, something like that.
Yeah.
10 or 12. That's what I'd like to see happen, honestly. I would obviously with the playoffs change next year, after the playoff bowls or the major bowls, you really look at all the bowl games after that and decide which ones really matter. Like, which ones are the biggest. And my opinion, after the NY6, the ones that truly matter to me are the ones like the Gator Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, Alamo, Liberty, because Liberty's been around for quite a while. You could even throw the Sun Bowl in there. I feel like there's another one that I'm missing. I know I said Holiday. Maybe we could do that in another video.
Yeah, we're gonna really quickly. I mean, next week, we're going to find out because next week's championship week. So, by the know who's going where and what's going to happen and, all that. So,
yeah. And sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Craig says, when I was growing up, it was cotton, sugar, rose, and orange. Yeah, those are the big ones. The Fiesta Bowl came around in, the mid-'80s, the late 70s, early 80s, I think, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit later.
Yeah.
Sugar, cotton, rose, orange. And then I know, and then the peach had also been around for a while, too. That was always a major bowl game.
Yeah, and there was also what was the other one? It's not the Sun Bowl, but it's like the Sun Bowl.
Well, I know the tangerine was a big one for like 40 years, and then that one eventually became the Citrus Bowl.
I can't remember. Blanking. I have to go back and research. But yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what happens with Notre Dame and where they're headed. So yeah.
Yeah, Craig also says the Blue Bonnet Bowl, which
I remember.
Which for years I always thought that was I always thought that was Blue Bonnet, like the butter brand, but apparently Blue Bonnet's actually the state flower of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't know that. Sportsbook Lab says Tommy Rees was cooking the cons.
Yes, it started in 71. Okay.
I was going to put that up. Tommy Rees is your guys' favorite quarterback? No, he's not. I hope this is a joke. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 71, huh? I see, because for some reason, Craig, I was thinking that it started later. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one, but yeah, I thought the Fiesta Bowl didn't come around until the 80s. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've got
Tommy Rees.
Yeah, Tommy Rees. So yeah, we've got about 5 minutes left here in the stream. I don't really know what else to talk about.
If that, I mean, shoot, joking around, yeah. I mean, heck, Tommy Rees, they got Alabama cooking now, man. Like, Alabama looks pretty. I mean, Auburn took them to the wire, but
being straight up honest with you, Auburn gave that one away big time.
Oh, but the resiliency of Alabama is just incredible. I mean, and up until the Auburn ball, like you got to give credit where credit's due, and Alabama had been playing some good ball. Yeah, I mentioned Utah. I said, Utah wouldn't be a half bad matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing like them, Tennessee, Oregon State. Some vet, like get a veteran receiver that's a bigger guy, like a Chase Claypool type, where you can just throw the ball up and he goes and gets it. And like just go get a tree, some senior, junior, senior that's one last and let Angeli cook and just let him and Angeli just go town.
Yeah, I agree. Veteran quarterback wouldn't hurt. Veteran receiver wouldn't hurt. You already have
our running back. Our running back core is there. Like the running back core is solid.
Yeah.
And price, the price is totally right. Like, so,
One
he's, I'm excited about him and stuff. But our wide receiver core continues to be the Achilles heel of us. I mean, the line has been shaky too. I mean, Hartman's been under some duress. He was under a lot of duress. But our receiving core, just continues to be the Achilles heel of our offense, in my opinion.
One position group that I would think about too is our linebacking core, because right now we have a very veteran core at that spot. So I'd think about maybe a veteran linebacker too.
We're gonna be losing guys,
So I think Kaiser's gone, Bertrand's gone. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure all these guys. I'm pretty sure it's it for all these guys. Botello, I think, is probably gone too. But I just want to say something real quick about Tommy Rees. See, when he came to Alabama, he was already inheriting a group that was very well established. I'd like to see what he does with a group that's being built back up, a team that's rebuilding. So I wouldn't just start praising him just yet.
Tommy probably got chewed up by Saban. Yeah.
But, and speaking of which, Ben, just a quick question too before we wrap things up. After this season's over, what do you think? What do you think happens with Jared Parker? Do you think he gets demoted, or do you think Freeman sticks with him for another season?
I think that he gets the boot. I really do. I don't. Be somebody who makes Notre Dame videos in my basement, and I can legitimately say that some of the stuff that he is doing just is clearly not working. Should tell you everything to know about Parker.
Yeah, I thought it was worth giving him a shot, but I'm tending to lean that way. That you better go with somebody else who actually has experience. And speaking of which, just so everybody, because we still get this on the Facebook group and X all the time. Everybody was bitching and complaining about Andy Ludwig. The university was prepared to pay him. He was the one who got cold feet. And that's one thing I don't understand is why everybody just is so hell-bent on, the university needs to open its checkbook and blah, 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 blah. No. We were prepared to pay Ludwig. And I just wish people would shut the hell up over that. I'm getting sick of it. But I don't know. There could be a lot of shakeups over the whole coaching staff. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, this was like what, Freeman's actual first staff, or was it? No, it's his second staff. Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he's still figuring everything out. That's something that people need to remember. Is this guy, this coach in Freeman, is legitimately in his actual second season of being a head coach. Period. Like, not his second season as Notre Dame's head coach, but second season as a head coach overall. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt with a lot of stuff. So, and yeah, and like with what Golden Playbook's saying, I think there's a lot of guys out there who are good positional coaches, but not a good OC, not a good DC, or not a good head coach.
Yeah, you got to put.
And the same goes with defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators. I think there are guys that are really good at being offensive coordinators and not head coaches. Looking at Will Muschamp as like my ultimate example. Dude was an excellent, positional coach and play caller, but he just wasn't a good head coach. It's just how it is. That doesn't mean that they're bad.
You're not a fit at every position.
Yeah, we can't have two coaches learning on the job. That's too much. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with Golden Playbook totally. Like, we can't have multiple coaches learning on the fly. Like, this
No.
is Notre Dame. This isn't Bowling Green. This isn't, yeah, I agree.
Well, the thing is, this Sportsbook Lab has an interesting comment here. Yeah, just switch the OC every year. Sometimes you're forced to do that because with coordinators, they're not going to stick around long term.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have either really deep pockets to keep guys a long time, or you got to be just an absolute factory dynasty like Alabama was. And even then, it's hard. I mean, even then, it's hard because obviously Kirby Smart, was with Saban for the longest time, and he finally took a head coaching gig. So, and that worked out well for Kirby Smart because, I mean, hell, look at what he's about to do. He's potentially about to do a three-peat. So that's incredible. But,
oh yeah,
it's hard to do. It's hard to keep leaders, whether you're so.
Well, in my opinion, I think the way they should go, and this is just what I think they should do, is put Jared Parker back with the tight ends because he was doing a pretty good job there, and you just bring in an offensive coordinator that has some experience.
Yeah,
and
a low. What I mean by low level is like a coach who has very little experience in Freeman should be having guys that are vets, like Al Golden.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying they are going to be perfect because there have been times where we've been like, what are you doing? But guys who have been through it, who know what's going on and what to deal with and how to deal with it. Because, yeah, Freeman's been through it. He was, I mean, you can't get much better than that. Maybe, but, yeah. But the player.
Yeah. Well, I think we can answer this question, then we could probably call it a stream. Next year, Craig Sebring says next year, if we have an 8 or 9 year win team, Freeman will be on the hot seat. We were talking about that before you got here, Craig, and if anybody's been watching us for a while, you've heard me say this a bunch of times. Every head coach gets at least 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, unless you've lost every single game. I mean, if you lose every single game in a season or whatever, then yeah, that's like the exception to the rule. But yeah, I think 3 years or what's your situation? And that's what I said earlier. What is your situation? Like, do you have a good squad in that you're healthy? Like every single guy is healthy and you're not banged up and you're not on your second and third string guys, or is your squad just injured reserve list? Because if your guys are second and third stringers or even all third stringers and you're losing games, well, that's to be expected. I mean, you go up against a team like Southern Cal with your third stringers, you're not going to beat them. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. I don't care if you're freaking Joe Paterno, Bear Bryant, Woody Hayes. You're not winning that game. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, it's situational, and yeah, I think he gets 1 more year at least.
And then it just depends. Really, it just depends on the situation. But every head coach gets 3 full years, and then in that 4th year, that's when you can start talking about putting somebody on the hot seat or this or that or whatever the case may be. But
yeah, totally agree.
But you have to give Freeman deserves a full 3rd year next season before anybody can start with that stuff. But even if he were to, if let's say we took a step back next year, okay, why did you take a step back? This with this being your 3rd year, why'd you take a step back? Again, it goes back to the situation. Did you have a lot of guys hurt? Or whatever the case may be. So
yeah,
that's what it all comes down to. Is it depends on what the situation is.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, I guess that that pretty much covers everything we have to talk about. We have hit the 1 hour and 5 minute mark. So yeah, it's crazy that this is the last regular season game, and now it's on to the bowl game. But all I can say is, Ben, it's been an amazing regular season. Another regular season of calling games with you. This year it was on 2 platforms: our show and the Voice of College Football, Notre Dame. So it's been a fun ride, man.
It sure has.
And
it has. Definitely.
And it's gonna get fun once we find out the bowl matchup and everything from there. So I'm not trying to talk like the season's over, but the regular season is over.
Regular season.
So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add, Ben?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, on that note, everyone, I am Sean Moriarty.
I'm Ben.
Well, you were breaking up, Ben, but everybody sees your name.
I'm Ben.
And so with that said, this has been the Voice of College Football, Notre Dame, the post-game show. We thank you guys for watching. And 9-3, that's how we finish the regular season. And good night, God bless, and go Irish.
Go Irish.